Hello and welcome to the bonus training for how to create the perfect hook. In this video we're going to be talking very quickly about how to get people taking notice of your headlines and taking notice and taking action on your content because you're producing better headlines. We'll talk a little bit about how having some copyright skills could help, but right now why they're not really necessary. So in terms of the headline and actually having copywriting skills to create amazing headlines, what you've just signed up for is a series of formulas that means you don't need to have those skills right off the bat. Once you get the PDF in your inbox, you'll see exactly what I mean. So let's jump straight into the bonus training and get started. So the goals for this training are essentially when your competitors see your content, you really want them to be thinking, wow, I wish I'd thought of that. Well, actually, that's the side benefit of actually using some of the headlines formulas for your content. But really what you want to do is, essentially the goal for this training is to get you to stand out, to actually have people take notice of your headlines and actually to start clicking and engaging with what it is you're producing. So to that end, let's move on to one of the things that you can use, one of the tactics that you can use to get people to take notice of your content, and that's urgency. Now, there are different types of urgency, and the one thing that you really need to be clear on is that you cannot be using any kind of fake scarcity. There has to be some level of genuine urgency behind any particular offer that you give out. If you don't do that, essentially what you'll train your audience and your potential prospects into believing about you is that anything that they see that you provide will always be available. They don't need to take action now. And that's the last thing that you want to happen. You don't want to break that trust. So the types of urgency that you can use are pricing dynamics. Now, personally, I don't like this one because anytime you start using price as a level of urgency, so discounts, limited time offers, etc., it's kind of a race to the bottom, because if you do it, your competitors start doing it, and then who can trim out their margins the most. Don't like it. It's there, it's an option, it's available, but not one that I would personally use myself. You can use bonus dynamics. So by basically saying to somebody, if you take this action and purchase before X deadline, we will also add list of bonuses, so bonus 1, bonus 2, whatever that might be. It could be something that you could add a value to if it has a hard value and you're providing that as a bonus. Now, in terms of comparing that to the pricing dynamic, I like that one much better, because whilst you're still discounting, you're not actually affecting the base price of whatever your service might be. So having a bonus and essentially delivering more than might be promised by somebody else is actually a really great way for attracting people with that level of urgency. Then you've got things like contextual offers. So it could be, if you take this action before X date, we're doing this because of big occasion. So it could be a business anniversary, it could be a personal anniversary, it might be, maybe you've just moved offices, or maybe you've got in some new staff, or it doesn't matter what it is. But if it's an event, an occasion, something that doesn't happen very often, maybe it's annual or biannual, that's something that you could potentially leverage as a contextual offer. Quite recently, we've just had the Euro 2020s. Loads of businesses were putting out offers based around if if we win or if we lose or whatever it might be. But that could be something that you could use as part of a contextual. The next big thing we've got coming up potentially is the Olympics. So again, you could have an offer based around that. If it's something you're interested in, of course. If you have no interest in it and it doesn't light your fire, then maybe best to avoid it. But it's always there as a possibility. So contextual offers potentially can add some urgency because, as an example, with the Olympic Games, you've got a 2-week event, so you could have an offer on running for 2 weeks. Another kind of urgency would be limited availability. Now, we've actually just seen the end of SDLT, the government land tax reduction that they put in place to try and prop up the property market because of the pandemic. Now, the fact that that ended on a particular date, smart estate agents out there would have been potentially running offers up to that date, not just saying if you don't buy before this date and get a completion, you're going to have to pay the SDLT, but they could have also have added in their own offers on top of that as well, potentially even mix it up with bonuses or other kind of contextual offers. So all of these things can be used in conjunction with each other, not necessarily required, depending on what it is. But when you've got a limited time offer, and particularly when it's something that is a hard deadline, something that was set potentially by the government, then that's definitely something that you can use to leverage, and using those in your headlines will definitely grab people's attention. Then finally, you've got indirect offers. So this could be around buying, selling, renting, refinancing. Now you will save money in the long run because prices are increasing, decreasing, the rules are changing, whatever it might be. So if there's something on the horizon that you're aware of that could potentially affect somebody financially, that's something that you can create a headline about to attract their attention. And so indirect offers are a good way of potentially taking people down a route that they may not have thought of, and positioning yourself as the expert who knows the ins and outs of X subject and Y results with Z outcome will really enable you to stand out and get on top of what otherwise people might be just talking about in a very dull and boring and uninspiring kind of a way. So again, using an indirect offer that has an implication or an impact down the road can also be a really effective way of boosting up your headlines with that sense of urgency. The next step in building out great headlines is believability. So giving a reason why will aid in believability. So if you're going big on a claim, even if that claim is 100% accurate and true, then you may need to build up to it so that people don't necessarily think it's just a clickbait hook type thing that's trying to draw you in, which obviously you are trying to do, but you want to do that in an ethical as possible way. So rather than saying, I don't know, for example, something off the top of my head, probably something you wouldn't necessarily say because there are standards against it, but if you were to say something like, we guarantee to sell your house within the next 4 weeks, as a statement on its own, it is quite attention grabbing, but a lot of people are going to just look at that and think, yeah, right, of course you are. That's what they all say. If you were to enhance that with believability, you might say, we can guarantee to sell your house within the next 4 weeks, just like we've done for 50 other people in the last 52 weeks, or in the last year, however you want to phrase it, in the last 12 months. That adds an element of believability. Now you're leveraging your credibility by saying, well, we do this all the time. It's no big deal. What, you mean other people can't sell it in 4 weeks? What's wrong with them? All of that is implied by adding that believability into the statement. And so adding that step from we can sell your house in 4 weeks, but then adding the caveat of, like we've done with many others, or it's been something that we've been able to do over the last X number of years, or whatever it might be. Adding that believability, adding some steps in up to the big claim, will essentially mean that people will be more inclined to take at face value what it is you say, rather than just jumping into the big claim. Because if it's not believable and it's not something that you can back up easily, then people will just write it off as too good to be true, and that's not going to help you at all by getting more people looking at your headlines, your content, and your expertise, offers, etc. Now, on that, if you are making a claim, big or small, you need to back it up with facts, stats, comparisons, whether it be quotes from other experts or celebrities. Yeah, I know, sad but true. As with believability, smaller claims working up to bigger claims are more believable and less likely to be questioned or dismissed out of hand. You do not want people thinking things are too good to be true when it's just you delivering an excellent service. So you have to be sure to back up that credibility and back up those claims with the facts and stats, and give those mini steps, taking them on the journey from not knowing who you are to, I can do this for you and here's the reasons why. So you've got to be careful with claims, obviously. I don't need to tell you that, I'm sure. But it is something that, if done in the right way, can be a very powerful tool to help get people stopping, paying attention to what it is you're writing, because you've got a headline with a really good claim in it, but some sort of validation around it as well. Now, another thing that you can use to create a perfect hook for your content are fears and benefits. Now, fears are more powerful than benefits, so if you work on people's fears, you'll potentially get more reaction, but you don't want to come across as too negative or doom and gloom, or you don't want to go the other way and appear too happy or hypey. It's a sense of getting a good balance of the two. With fears, you can address things like conflicts, embarrassment, failing, ignorance, intimacy, loneliness, loss, rejection, responsibility, sickness, and uncertainty. So they're all fears. Don't worry about writing those down. Everything, they'll be in your cheat sheet when you get that. But they're all things that connect people to their emotions, and if you can get people emotional about something, then you're more likely to connect with them on that basis. And the true can be said of benefits as well. So acceptance, certainty, actually connection, contentment, happiness, health, and intelligence, all of these are things that, if you can pitch them in the right way, then they will help you connect with your potential prospects, and they will pay more attention to your headlines, your hook, and ultimately will actually come and read your content and see what it is you've got to say. Moving on a step from that, you've then got the pleasure and pain aspect of headlines. So if you can identify their biggest fears, or if you can frame the biggest benefit to your perfect prospects, adding them into your content, your copy, it's going to resonate more closely with their desires. And even if they don't really realize it, then it will actually stop them in their tracks and make them pay attention to what it is you're putting out there. That brings us on to the formulas. Now, the formulas are what you're getting in the downloadable. So there's about 50 or so formulas for you to add your unique twist to. Now, what we've done in the download, which should by now be in your inbox if you signed up before watching this video. If you didn't sign up before watching this video, you can go and sign up. There'll be a link to it below so that you can actually get that cheat sheet. So there's about 50 odd formulas, and if you read through, so what we've done is we've outlined the formula as a formula that you can apply your keywords and context, believability, fears, benefits, pain, pleasure to, and your obviously subjects. And we've given some examples of those as well in a property context. So you've got 50 formulas with examples of how they work in the guide that you're about to get. The best way that you could possibly use this is probably read through the formulas and just pick out several formulas which you like the look of, which resonate with you, and test them first. Now, obviously, you could potentially test all 50. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It will take you a little bit of time because obviously you've got to be producing content around the headlines. Now, you can use the headline formula. You can use multiple formulas for the same piece of content, so you can just try and see if different hooks get more or less attention than other hooks. Nothing wrong with doing that either. In fact, would recommend that. But what you ultimately want to do is find out through testing which of the formulas work best for your audience. So when you're talking about particular subjects, particular fears or desires or benefits, if you're using certain types of urgency or claims and believability mixtures for certain types of content, obviously just track how well each one does, and you'll build up over time an idea of what it is your audience resonates with, and that will actually save you time in writing your headlines down the line. And also including some of the headline formulas, they can be used not just for headlines for social media or blog posts, or whatever content it is you're writing, but you could actually apply them to services or products if you've got any kind of product that you're trying to move, because ultimately the formulas are something that are already shown to work in other areas. Now, not all of them work in all situations, and so this is where the testing comes in. But like I say, where you use a hook is not just limited to headlines and subheadlines. It could also be used on your lead magnets, your social content. It can be used in email subject lines, on SEO, metadata, titles and tags, sales pages, subheadlines, email opt-in pages, testimonials even, products and service names, like I already said. All of these things are adaptable by adding the service name, the potential outcome, a benefit, a claim, some believability, whatever it might be, into the formula to basically help people come to you and get in front of your products and services, your content, what it is you're helping with, overcome, solve, get past in their journey to whatever their desired destination is, whatever their desired outcome is for any particular problem that they're trying to resolve. So that's kind of a summary of some of the elements that you're going to use to make the perfect hook for your headlines and all the other things that we just talked about. By applying these headlines, to the various elements that we've discussed and just working through them step by step and testing them out just to see what kind of reactions that you get, whether it be more likes, comments, even shares, that is really going to help you get more eyeballs on your content, your services, and any other areas of your social media, email list, etc., that you want to attract people to via your headlines. And it's ultimately that the headlines are going to be the first point of contact with any of the marketing you do. When you create this content and when you put your ads out there, in fact, we didn't even mention ads, using these formulas within ads will also be a really great way to catch people's attention. But that is all something that you can just apply and test, see what the results are, and then start rolling it out across more and more of your content when you've got the formulas that really work well for you. Now, in terms of creating the perfect hook, when we take that in context of the entire roadmap that this actual cheat sheet is a part of, we're actually looking at a part of step 6 of the Local Celebrity Leads Mastery coaching program. And in that step, as well as just having the hook, which is mainly to do with the headline in that instance, but like we say, it can be used in many other places. But we also go deeper into things like the layout and creating lead magnets to actually over deliver on what it is you're trying to help people with. So in this instance, obviously we've got the lead magnet, which is step 6, action 1 in our course, and we're giving that to you as a freebie for you to be able to help you with your own headlines, content, email titles, subheadings, etc., 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 like we've already discussed. Now, obviously, as you can see, actually the headline is up in step 6. There's a lot of other work that we look at prior to getting to that stage, and if that's something that you would like to know more about, then you can actually do that by getting in touch with us. So if you want to join us in our Facebook group, you're more than welcome to do that. The information is on the screen now. If you want to reach out to us and find out more about the Local Celebrity Leads Mastery program, please feel free to do so. All you need to do is go to our business page on Facebook, or you can come to my personal page and just open up Messenger and type in free call, and we'll have a little conversation. So I'll talk to you a little bit about what more it is you'd like to know about and what the criteria are for coming on as a client of the coaching program. And if it's of interest, we'll set up and book a call. There is no obligation. If you have a call and obviously it's not right for you, we'll let you know. We'll point you in the right direction. But if it is, we'll make you an offer to join up into the coaching program, and you'll be more than welcome to take us up on that if it's right for you. So that's it for this bonus video. If you do want to reach out and get in touch, like I say, do feel free to do so. You can just send us free call to one of the messengers or contact us through the group. It's not something that you're going to be pressured into buying anything. We only take on a very few clients at the moment, so chances are more often than not people aren't going to be necessarily a good fit. So you don't have to worry about us hounding you to join our program. That's just not going to happen. If you found this video valuable, please do feel free to give us a thumbs up. It is a YouTube video, so go on to YouTube, give us a thumbs up, and if you've got any questions or comments, if there's anything that we've not answered with this video, please do feel free to drop a comment below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then please do subscribe to the channel, and as and when they're released, you'll get the notification and you can drop in and take a look at our latest training videos. So that's it for now. Just like, comment, subscribe, send on Messenger free call if you'd like to talk to us more about the local Celebrity Leads Mastery Coaching Program. And until the next time, enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye for now.